Today is Wednesday, the 15th of February, and this is from the South. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro demanded an apology from the United States government after they sanctioned his vice president over drug trafficking allegations. Vice President Tarek El-Aissami has denied the accusations, labeling it a media smear campaign and a distracting attack by the U.S. Protesters marched in Argentina's capital of Buenos Aires against a new 35% tax on computer imports imposed by the government. The tax has led to thousands of job cuts. The government has defended the intention of the initiative to lower prices for consumers. However, the measure adversely affects those working on assembly lines. Alianza País candidate Lenin Moreno is leading the presidential polls in Ecuador, but some expect opposition candidate Guillermo Lasso to send the vote to second round. Moreno has gathered support with vows to continue outgoing President Rafael Correa's popular social programs. German industrial group Siemens and Mexico's economy ministry signed a cooperation agreement on Tuesday. Siemens will expand investments in areas of digitalization and industry, smart cities, and education, among others, in the Latin American country. Siemens reaffirmed its confidence with Mexico for the next 10 years and plans to invest $200 million and create 1,000 new jobs. Bolivian President Evo Morales traveled to the UN's highest court in The Hague on Tuesday over Bolivia's ongoing maritime dispute with Chile. Morales, along with his team, were there to review Bolivia's legal reply, which will be filed before March 21st. Morales said he stood firm beside Bolivia's demand that Chile grant the landlocked country coastal territory. U.S. President Donald Trump met Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House, where the two reiterated their mutual support for one another. During a joint press conference, both leaders spoke of facilitating peace, but heavily criticized Palestine and Iran. Trump also unexpectedly put Netanyahu on the spot by stating, quote, "I would like to see you hold back on settlements for a little bit," catching the Israeli leader off guard. The European Union Parliament has voted in favor of CETA, the free trade agreement between Canada and the EU. The deal was 5 years in the making. According to the European Parliament, the deal could be applied as early as April. The free trade deal will eliminate 98% of trade tariffs between the EU and Canada. Anti-free trade activists marched outside the European Parliament offices in Strasbourg as the body approved the vast majority of the CETA trade deal with Canada. Opponents of the deal fear that CETA will result in the loss of jobs, lower safety standards, and grant more power to corporations. Around 500 United States Army soldiers arrived in Romania as part of the NATO buildup on the Eastern Front. The troops will stay in Romania for 9 months in what Washington says will be a back-to-back rotation.
In defiance of the international community and the UN, Israel has approved the construction of hundreds of illegal Jewish outposts in existing settlements in the West Bank over the past weeks. The Israeli government has now, for the first time in years, authorized the construction of an entire new settlement in the northern West Bank district of Nablus. The moves reflect Israel's violation and complete disregard of international and humanitarian law and squashes any hopes for ending decades of conflict through the two-state solution. Earlier this month, the Israeli parliament, the Knesset, passed into law a bill to legalize the expansion of the settlements in the occupied territories. The regularization law will allow Israel to recognize thousands of illegally built Jewish hotspots constructed on Palestinian-owned land in what Palestinians have dubbed a land theft.
No doubt that all the Israeli measures on the ground, particularly the confiscation of Palestinian land, the establishment of settlements, and the transfer of Jewish settlers into Palestinian lands that were occupied during the 1967 war, constitute organized war crimes and a clear violation of the international and humanitarian law, particularly the Fourth Geneva Convention.
Human Rights Watch swiftly condemned the bill, noting that it breaches the Security Council Resolution 2334 on the illegality of settlements. Moreover, it is unlawful under the Fourth Geneva Convention for an occupying power to transfer parts of its population into the territory it occupies. This means that establishment of Israeli settlements in the occupied Palestine has no legal validity. Nur Harazin, teleSUR TV, Palestine.
Scientists have found signs of brain damage that could cause dementia in a handful of former soccer players. This has fueled worries about the danger of frequent knocks from heading the ball or colliding with others on the field. The study followed 14 retired soccer players with dementia. All of them were skilled headers of the ball. More on these and other stories on our website telesurtv.net/English.